One thing we get asked here at Weaver Barns quite a bit is, what is a Barndominium? And it is a bit of a loaded question. There can be a lot of different ways to interpret that, but we're going to go over just a super quick overview with you of what the difference is between Barndominium and stick frame. So most traditional homes in America would be stick frame. So this has some sort of a foundation. A lot of times it's a block or concrete foundation that goes down to below frost level, whatever that frost level is in your area. That does differ depending where you live. On top of that foundation is the stick frame structure. So that is built right on top of the footer or foundation, and then it's built from there. A couple things that you can do in a stick frame home is you can do a truss roof or a raftered roof. Those are two options. In a pole barn, it is a little bit different. So the pole barn is typically posts that are in the ground, and that is your foundation, right? So the stick frame homes are built on top of the foundation, typically block or concrete, whereas the pole barn is actually poles in the ground. That is your foundation. And then on the roof system, it is primarily just trusses for pole barns. So that's why a lot of times when you see pole barns, it's a very simple roof structure. That is because they are utilizing trusses. There's a few pros and cons. Stick frame builds are typically more costly than pole barns. Pole barns are a lot cheaper. However, you are relying on those posts in the ground for your foundation. So cost-wise, it'd be a lot cheaper to go with a pole barn than stick frame. However, long-term, resale value is something to think about as well. The stick frame is going to last a lot longer and is kind of standard building practice for most American homes and garages. Where the Barndominium comes in the mix in this discussion is the Barndominium is typically considered a pole barn that is actually turned into a home. There's a few things that are addressed when doing a pole barn as a home, Barndominium. Couple of things are the foundation. People are turning to do more of actually a concrete foundation of some sort, and then actually doing the posts on top of that. So you still save some cost from the concrete up. So that's one thing that they do. And then the insulation, some of that stuff is different, but typically your Barndominium homes are going to be a lot more simple. They take a pole barn that was considered more of an ag building, agricultural building, into a home. So they take the shell of that building and then you can wall off the inside of it and create typically a larger home for the same price than stick frame. So when talking about a Barndominium, some people are considering that the look of a home. Some people find that look desirable. That's something that a lot of people are going for. But technically, a Barndominium is a pole barn that is transferred to a house and kind of made into a home. So we would have structures that would possibly be considered Barndominiums here at Weaver Barns. They have the look, but they're technically stick framed. So we primarily focus on stick frame buildings here at Weaver Barns. Pole barns are kind of a separate category. However, we do have buildings that could be considered a Barndominium looks-wise. So hopefully that clears it up. We get asked quite a bit. Hopefully that kind of helps wade through some of the terminology and all of that. And I just touched the surface. I could talk for probably 15 minutes on all the differences, and I probably glazed over some important ones, but this is just a quick overview of the differences when people ask, what is a Barndominium?